Have you ever been forced to testify in court when you weren't even summoned? A couple of years ago, my apartment was broken into while I was away camping. Along with electronics and valuables, several firearms were stolen. I filed all the reports, gave the serial numbers, and tried to move on. About a year and a half later, one of those guns resurfaced. It had been recovered in a small city over the state line, tied to a group of kids who were also caught up in drug charges. From the start, I was told by my local police that a girl was connected to the case and that she'd eventually go to trial. Months later, I received a letter in the mail. Not a summons, just a notice of the court date and location. Legally, I wasn't required to attend, but I figured cooperating might speed up the process of getting my property back. So I showed up. That first court date was a disaster. Both prosecutors were out sick, one with COVID. Nobody knew what was happening, and the whole thing was chaos. We sat there for hours with no progress, until I finally left. Since I hadn't been summoned, they couldn't stop me. I told them to just mail me the new date when they figured it out. 3 weeks later, I came home after a long overnight shift and checked my mailbox. There were 2 new letters waiting, one for the girl I'd originally heard about, and another for a guy I'd never even heard of. His trial was that day. Hers was scheduled for tomorrow. So I made the 40-minute drive to the courthouse, signed in, and waited. The jury was selected, and we, the witnesses, were left sitting. 4 police officers and me, the only civilian. They reassured me it would be quick, confirm the firearm, answer a couple of questions, and I'd be free to go. But instead of calling me, they paraded in all the officers first. They were on the clock and getting paid. I wasn't. By noon, I'd been awake nearly 24 hours, running on only 3 hours of sleep from the night before. I'd worked a 12-hour night shift, hadn't eaten since 10 p.m., and was cramped and exhausted. Then, right at 1 o'clock, the assistant DA casually announced an hour-long lunch break. That's when I told her I couldn't stay. She snapped back immediately. I wasn't allowed to leave. She claimed I had already been presented to the judge as a witness, which made me legally obligated. She warned me I could face charges if I walked out. One of the officers even added that I could be detained on the spot. I pushed back. I reminded them that I hadn't been summoned, that being there was voluntary. But instead of backing down, the DA made her biggest mistake. She started telling me details about the case, how the defendant was tied to the firearm, what the evidence showed, even contradicting what my local police had originally told me. She was outright breaking the sequester order the judge had issued that morning, which banned witnesses from discussing testimony outside of court. So I stayed quiet, and I waited. When it was finally my turn, the judge swore me in, and the second I finished my oath, I told the entire courtroom that the prosecutor had broken sequester by talking to me about the case during the break. The room froze. The judge immediately cleared everyone else out, leaving only me. He brought me back in alone, swore me in again, and stressed the importance of a fair trial. He told me witnesses should only answer questions, never volunteer details. Then he said testifying was a legal obligation. I calmly explained again I had never been summoned. He paused, then said, "Well, I'm ordering you now. Understood?" I nodded. When everyone returned, the questioning began. The prosecutor, who had been so aggressive earlier, was clearly shaken now. She asked her questions, and I gave her the truth, without making it easy for her. "Did you report a weapon stolen on this date?" "Yes." "Is this your firearm?" "It certainly looks like it." "Would you recognize the serial number?" "No, I'd need to compare it against the police report or gun shop records." "Who contacted you about the recovery?" "My local police department." When she pressed further, I repeated exactly what they told me, that it had allegedly been used in a crime by the girl's name. The defense objected, and the judge struck it. From then on, the DA stuck to simple yes or no questions, trying to minimize the damage. Then the defense attorney had his turn. "You said it looks like your gun, but you can't confirm without the serial number?" "Correct." "Do you know who stole it?" "No." "Do you recognize my client?" "No." Every answer was the truth, but every answer also weakened the prosecution's case. When I was finally dismissed, I walked out with my head high. They had tried to bully me, threaten me, and even violated their own rules, but in the end, I did exactly what I swore to do. I told the truth. And tomorrow, when I walk back into that courtroom for the girl's trial, I already know the DA is going to be nervous the moment she sees me.